My thoughts are I don't give a shit. I'm serious, after the top 10 worst death battles, I don't want to talk about Death Battle again for quite some time. Hello. One thing that actually surprised me was I actually recently got a lot of shit for my recent Death Battle review. I actually finally got attacked by angry Death Battle fans who got mad at me because I dared to say that sometimes Death Battle's animations are so bad they make mine look good. And I don't know very much about animation. I mean, at least in regards to creating animations. And they somehow said that, oh, that's you coming off as arrogant. You think you're better than Death Battle? And I said, no, that's the whole point. I don't know jack shit about animation. These fuckers have an entire animation team, and some of their animations are just painful. So yes, if you go into the comments section of my recent Death Battle review, I actually got a lot of shit. I tried to explain myself, but these people went off on me. A couple of them understood where I was coming from and didn't know that a lot of my emotion, in air quotes, I show in my videos is exaggerated and is meant for entertainment purposes. Anyone who knows me in real life knows that I show little to no emotion in real life, and I'm pretty mellow. But of course, I wouldn't expect these people to know that. They most likely watched the one video and then judged my entire character based on that one video. It wouldn't be the first time someone's tried to do that to me. I haven't seen Space Dandy, and I probably never will. Not because I think it's bad, but it's just not really my thing. I'm so excited to finally play this game. Oh, I can use the keyboard. Good. Well, see, that's the sad part about it. There wasn't many voice actors I liked outside of Monica Rial. I still think Monica Rial is a talented voice actress, just a piece of shit person. I guess if I had to pick another voice actor, it would be the guy who did the voice of Ulquiorra and Mayuri in Bleach, or the guy who did the voice for Kimimorra, who also did the voice of Stark in Bleach. Which, when I first watched Bleach, when I heard Stark's voice, it was driving me nuts because I knew I heard that voice somewhere before. My least favorite Smash Bros. Character would be any character that you use against me. No, but it's probably Jigglypuff because Jigglypuff is probably the shittiest Smash Bros. Character of all time. She is useless. She's very light, easy to knock out of the ring, and her fucking moveset is a joke. She only has one useful move, Spin, and everything else is useless. Oh gee, no shit, I had no clue I had this in full screen. Thank you so much, Newgrounds. Yuno Gasai, because Yuno's actually a real human being. Within the context of the DokiDoki Literature Club universe, Monica is nothing. She's just a bunch of code. And she knows it. You literally defeat her by deleting a fucking game file. Or Yuno would just punch a hole in the computer and call it a day. I hate it when people actually take DokiDoki Literature Club seriously. That game was meant to be a subversive parody of visual novels. That's it. It served no other purpose beyond that. And I hate it when people take it seriously. If you honestly think a DokiDoki Literature Club character could appear in Death Battle or any kind of versus debate situation, you're just crazy. Okay, I'm sick of hearing about DokiDoki Literature Club, and I'm also sick of... I don't get what the big deal is. Like, yeah, how awesome that DokiDoki Literature Club was a clever, subversive, whatever, of visual novels. I mean, I don't really care because I don't like visual novels, but sure, whatever. Basically, DokiDoki Literature Club is what Rian Johnson was trying to do with Star Wars. Except it was somewhat successful. Whereas The Last Jedi is a piece of shit. Ah, there we go. Harry Potter, good movie series, although I didn't really get into it. I used to watch the second one all the time, but I would always just skip to the scene where Harry fights the basilisk. Because when I was younger, I thought that anything that had a sword in it was really cool, so I really liked the scene where Harry used a sword instead of his wand. I actually did used to have a Harry Potter 2 game. If you have a Game Boy Color, get Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets on Game Boy Color. It's actually a very good Harry Potter game. I know most Harry Potter games suck, but this one is actually good. It's basically a turn-based RPG in the Harry Potter universe, and it actually works quite well. The only Harry Potter movies I've seen is the first one, the second one, and the last one. And even then, I only saw part 2 of the last movie, and I saw some scenes of Goblet of Fire. I've never seen all the movies from beginning to end. Hey, sis. Waluigi should not be in Smash. I don't know why people really want Waluigi in Smash. Waluigi only exists as a meme. That's it. He would suck as a Smash character. At least I could make a whole video based on all the stupid characters people want to see in Smash just because why the hell not? I mean, you've been on my Twitter, so you already know how I feel about that. And if you know my thoughts on them constantly trying to say that Astolfo is transgender, well, then my thoughts on people thinking Cloud is trans or gay is basically the same. I mean, I find it really stupid that people will take shit out of context just to call a character gay or transgender. I remember MatPat even did this shit. In fact, you know what? I'm almost positive the one responsible for idiots thinking that Cloud is transgender and gay is fucking MatPat. Because he's the one who started that shit with his garbage theory video of, are video games anti-LGBT? You know what? Fuck off, MatPat. I hate that motherfucker so much. Everything he does pisses me the fuck off. No, Cloud is not gay, Cloud is not transgender. Just because someone cross-dresses one time doesn't mean fuck all. This reminds me of the idiots that think that there are idiots out there that would probably say that, oh, because Ash in Pokemon cross-dressed, he must be gay and transgender then. No, he isn't. And you're an idiot if you think that. I mean, technically Sheik is a reverse trap, yes. However, with context, she only ever did that to conceal herself from Ganondorf and help Link in his quest. So take that with a grain of salt. Cool. I mean, I don't know what you want me to add about Brock from Pokemon. I mean, I guess everyone likes him. I mean, I don't really have much to say about Brock. That probably wouldn't already be said by any other Pokemon fan. I mean, I did like, though, that Brock in Pokemon Origins was voiced by Johnny Young Bosch, who did the voice of Ichigo. It was kind of interesting to hear Ichigo's voice come out of Brock's mouth. That's one thing I will say. Ichigo probably has one of the most badass voices of any anime character in history. Light Yagami is neither a saint nor is he evil. He is a morally gray anti-hero. The idea of good and evil in Death Note is not black and white. And Light and L both understood those concepts. I plan on making a video about this sometime called Why Light Yagami is Actually the Good Guy in Death Note. Because so many think that Light Yagami is the villain, but he's really not, and this is only ever pushed by idiots who have a very black and white perspective on things. And no, Light Yagami killing the FBI agents was not going too far. If you honestly think that FBI agents and police are these perfect little saints and that killing them is wrong, well then you're an idiot, because you would have to ignore the context of corrupt police officers, corrupt FBI agents, and the fact that they work for a government that kills more people than any mass shooter in history ever could. So, no, those who say that Light Yagami is the villain because he killed law enforcement, no, that's a shitty-ass argument. And it requires you to turn a blind eye to all the corruption within the police and the FBI. Which, if you saw even within the context of Death Note, L and the task force broke so many laws and rules just to try to capture Light. Hell, they had to use inhumane torture methods just to get information out of Misa. So, no, don't give me this bullshit that, oh, Light shouldn't have killed the police or the FBI, that was too far. No, I would actually argue that Light didn't go far enough. But I'll just save some of this for my video. I won't say too much, but yeah, I want to dispel this myth that Light Yagami is actually the villain in Death Note. Because interestingly enough, throughout the entire anime and manga, Light Yagami at no point is ever proven wrong in his philosophy and his pursuit of a perfect world. Nobody was ever able to prove him wrong. Not L, not Nier, not even Mello. None of them were able to ever prove him wrong, and after Light died, the crime spiked again. Well, imagine my shock. Nier is just a fucking piece of shit, who only wanted to defeat Light, not because he wanted to do the right thing, but because of mere pride. Because he wanted to avenge L. Well, guess what? Fuck you, Nier. Oh no! Light killed L. Bitch, please. Even the writer of Death Note described L as evil. Yes, even the creator of Death Note straight up said that L was evil. L was not the good guy. Not even remotely close. Oh no, he killed L. Okay, I get it that sucks if L was your favorite character, but let's be honest, L had it coming. L was not this moral person. He only solves cases that he finds interesting. I know L preaches about justice, but he only gives a shit about his personalized ideal of justice, not what is actually right and wrong. he only wanted to go after the Kira case because it interested him. If the case didn't interest him, L wouldn't even have bothered to go after Kira. And if your only reason for hating Light is just because he killed L, well then that's quite petty. I thought I already made it clear in the last live stream that I give some thoughts on Tracer versus Scout in my top 10 worst death battles. No, there's absolutely nothing I like about Disney. I don't even like them for creating Kingdom Hearts because they did not create Kingdom Hearts. Square Enix did. Disney just gave them permission to use their characters, and even then, a lot of these Disney characters don't even belong to them. I mean, Lucy is a great character, one of the best written characters in anime. I mean, I like Lucy so much that when I found out that Lucy actually wouldn't have been able to defeat Carnage after my many videos about Death Battle doing it, I almost didn't want to make a video doing it publicly because I didn't want to admit that Lucy, a character I absolutely love and adore, would lose to a piece of shit Marvel character. And yes, I know it's sacrilegious to not like Marvel, especially with Carnage, because Carnage is just that character. You have to love him. Even though, unless you're a hardcore Spider-Man fan, I mean, I don't know why you would be so crazy about Carnage, because as far as the casual audience is concerned, Venom is his main villain. Venom is the big bad villain for Spider-Man that everyone knows and loves. But yeah, Lucy is a finely crafted, well-written character and is the actual queen of yanderes. Not that bitch Yuno. I've been meaning to mention that for a long time, but all the people who think that Yuno is the best yandere of all time, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Yuno is overrated as fuck. She is a poorly written piece of shit character. Her only character is being a yandere and not much else. With Lucy, there was more to her character than just, I'm a yandere. She actually had depth to her character, and there was an element of humanity to her character. A character is far more frightening when there's an element of humanity to them. With Yuno, she's just a pure psychopath that is obsessed with Yuki. There's no other humanity to her beyond that. They try to make it look like she's human, but they just fail miserably. Because again, she's just a psychopath and there's not much to her character beyond that. I'm sick of hearing about how Yuno is the best yandere of all time. No. Lucy is a far superior yandere in every single way, and if they ever fought in a death battle, I can assure you Lucy would fuck Yuno up beyond repair. No, Light was not responsible for his dad's death. Are you fucking shitting me? That was Mello that killed him. Light didn't have jack shit to do with his father's death. That was Mello's doing. Mello was the one who fucking blew the building up. Are you fucking serious? Light's dad was too much of a limp dick pussy to use the Death Note to defend his own life. No, Light is not responsible for his dad's death. Get out of here with that shit. Again, I'm sick of people taking shit out of context to make Light look evil. I don't know because I haven't gotten to read all of the ending of Bleach yet. So I don't know how powerful end of series Uryu is. I'd have to look into it. Lucy is a better character in general because Lucy actually has a fucking character. I hate it when characters get reduced to one singular trait like yandere, tsundere, etc. and just say, here's a character. Like, one of my all-time favorite characters, Mei Misaki. Yeah, she's a kundere, but there's more to her character than just being a fucking kundere. Just, okay, yeah, maybe Yuno is a halfway decent yandere, but she offers nothing more beyond that. And even then, I would actually go so far as to say Misa Amane is a better fucking yandere than Yuno. And I know that's going to be sacrilegious, and I'm going to get a bunch of Misa fans jumping down my throat because it's popular to hate Misa, but Misa's character is not that bad, and she's a better yandere than fucking Yuno, because there's more to her character than just being a yandere. Say what you want about Misa, Amane, but here's the thing. She has personality. What the fuck does Yuno have outside of being a fucking yandere? Describe Yuno's personality to me. I fucking dare you to. Because I know you can't do it. Also, yes, Misa Amane would probably fuck up Yuno too. I've heard Unohana is very strong, however, as to how specifically strong she is, I have no clue because I've never power scaled her before. However, I'll assume that she's comparable to Kenpachi, who, from what I heard, is multi-continental, but there's some possible speculation that Kenpachi could be planet level because of his meteor feat. More people have been taking a closer look and trying to dissect his meteor feat, and some think he could be planet level or greater, alongside Yaiwatch, Genryu, Aizen, and Ichigo, who are the strongest characters in the entire universe. So it's possible Kenpachi could be much more powerful. I'm not even going to give Lucy from Fairy Tail the time of day. She's nothing. Moving on. So believe it or not, I actually don't ship Link and Zelda together. I was going to make a video on this, but I never finished it because the script I wrote was total fucking garbage, so I just trashed it. But the character I actually ship with Link is Midna. I have nothing against Link and Zelda as a couple. They could make a great couple. It's just that something about Link and Midna I found much more heartwarming than Link and Zelda. I prefer the idea of those two getting together than Link and Zelda. But if I had to pick a second best character for Link to get with, I would pick Zelda, but I'd much rather prefer Link end up with Midna. Midna was Link's best companion, and I love the relationship they had together. And I love how they really truly cared for each other. They definitely had some chemistry, and I was a little bit disappointed Nintendo didn't go all the way with it. I actually really want to see Midna come back in one of the newer Zelda games. I know that given the context of Twilight Princess, she could never come back because she destroyed the mirror to the Twilight Realm, but if they could ever bring her back, I would like to see her possibly come back. I don't know anything about Egoraptor. The only reason I even know who Egoraptor is because Egoraptor was in AVGN Adventures. However, as for who this person is, I don't know who the hell they are. No, I haven't seen Black Lagoon. It's on my list of anime to watch, though. My problem is that they're putting too many Fire Emblem characters in Smash. There is so much wrong with Fairy Tail, okay? I'm gonna one day make a review on this, but if I get into it here, it's gonna probably consume most of the stream, but there is a lot of fucking problems with Fairy Tail. Even people who read the frickin' manga can't defend it. Except for, of course, the blind fanboys. Well, in all fairness, Hyrule Warriors, there's not really too much context to Hyrule Warriors because almost every Zelda character is in Hyrule Warriors. Also, I don't know if Hyrule Warriors is canon. I mean, within the context of the narrative, Midna should not be able to return from the Twilight Realm unless under very specific circumstances. Like I said, she broke the mirror to the Twilight Realm. So unless they used the excuse of, well, Midna only smashed the mirror to the Twilight Realm in that particular timeline because there's 3 different timelines, then maybe they could get away with it. Ghost Rider would absolutely fucking one-shot Scorpion. Even if Scorpion took him to hell, it wouldn't even be a fucking debate. I mean, I know I once thought that Scorpion versus Ghost Rider would be a good matchup, but no. That would not end well for Scorpion. He would be marching to his doom. And Scorpion's ever-growing power would only get him so far. Because I'm sure in order for Scorpion to go from being... I mean, keep in mind, the strongest character in fucking Mortal Kombat is like large building level, I think. It's Shao Kahn. Do you know how long Scorpion would have to fuck with Ghost Rider in Hell to become a multiversal level threat? And even then, that's just some of the weaker versions of Ghost Rider. There are versions of Ghost Rider that are fucking boundless and greater. You really think Scorpion would be able to achieve that level of power without dying by Ghost Rider's hands in a matter of seconds? It just wouldn't happen. It was pretty funny. I was actually hoping he would review that. Ever since he made that joke, I was waiting patiently for him to review Raid 2020, and I was so happy that he actually did it. That's what I love about AVGN. Like everything, like James, he knows what his fans want, and he always keeps his promises. If he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it, and I love James for that. This is why I think James Rolfe should be the #1 YouTuber and not PewDiePie. I think James Rolfe is a much better example of what YouTubers should be rather than PewDiePie. I know a lot of people like PewDiePie, but James Rolfe is simply better than him. One thing I really want to do is I want to go to a convention, meet James Rolfe, and get him to sign my copy of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Yes, I own Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and I actually beat the game, too. And got the good ending, as well. I regret nothing. And no, I did not use a Game Genie, either. I beat that game legitly. I don't know too much about Inuyasha, but I'm pretty certain Byakuya would fuck him up. I know a lot of people really like to put Inuyasha characters against Bleach. I really don't understand why. Again, I don't know very much about the Inuyasha universe, but there's quite a lot of OP Bleach characters that could possibly fuck up that universe beyond repair. So is it really worth the risk? I don't know. Like I said, I will admit I don't know very much about how powerful the Inuyasha universe is. Maybe Inuyasha is stronger than I think. I don't know. I'd have to look into it. The power scaling is very time consuming, so I usually only like to power scale universes I'm familiar with because of how time consuming it is. For example, I plan on starting a series where I start power scaling characters from Fate, because there's not a lot of people power scaling Fate characters, and I'm very disappointed by this. But I also understand that power scaling Fate characters is a pain in the fucking ass. Yeah, I get that, but just because they're spiritual samurai doesn't necessarily mean it's automatically going to be a good matchup. Like this would be the equivalent of put some character against Naruto because they're both ninjas. You know what I mean? It's just not that interesting. Samurai against samurai, ninja versus ninja, ninja versus samurai. Like the ninja and samurai already fought each other in history. It's just not as interesting as people think it is. Versus debates work when two people fight each other that you would never expect to see fighting each other. I could actually see Ichigo fighting someone like Inuyasha because he exists within a universe where people like Inuyasha already fucking exist. It's not that interesting. The reason why Fate works so well is you have all these characters from history and mythology coming together that you would never expect to fight, actually fighting. Like, for example, Lancelot fighting Gilgamesh, or King Arthur fighting Heracles. These are things you would never expect to see, but Fate managed to make it happen. Well, I mean, I guess this is a little bit of a spoiler for the top 10 worst death battles, but considering how long it's taking for me to make it, I might as well at least throw you guys a bone. I actually talk about Doomslayer and Master Chief in that video, because I went back to look at Master Chief versus Doomslayer, and that fight was such fucking trash. Like, they really fucked over and lowballed Doom Guy. Like, they tried to say that Master Chief was faster, but that's simply not true. Doom Guy is actually faster than Master Chief. They pulled a Naruto versus Ichigo and lowball Doom Guy just so Master Chief can win. However, good luck doing that with the Doom Slayer, because the creators of Doom Eternal are saying they want Doomslayer to be one of the most powerful characters of all time. So yeah, if they ever do a rematch, Master Chief is gonna get his fucking throat torn out. Doomslayer is going to fuck his shit up. And I am so hyped for Doom Eternal. I want that game so badly, and I'm pissed off it's been delayed. No, it's not. Doom 2016 was a reboot. Technically, Doom Guy has been retconned. It's now the Doom Slayer. It's not Doom Guy anymore. I don't care about Shifu versus Splinter because I don't even know who that even is. So I'm not even going to bother with that one. Yes, at the time, it was just Doom Guy versus Master Chief. This was before the Doom reboot, but this is another reason why they need to do a rematch, because technically Doom Guy is retconned, and using non-canon material in versus debates is a big no-no. So technically they're pretty much obligated to do a rematch at this point. But yes, you are right that at the time there was no Doomslayer. But now there's no excuse not to do a rematch. I can't wait for Doom Eternal, because they said that in Doom Eternal we're gonna see just how powerful the Doom Slayer is. And I can't wait for it. Like, once I saw that Doomslayer is getting a fucking plasma claymore, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm so ready for this. Now, Doomslayer basically has something that makes lightsabers look like gay little fag sticks. Like, every time I think the Doomslayer can't get more badass, they find a way to make him even cooler. Like, there's basically now memes of this that the Doomslayer is so badass that Chuck Norris checks under his bed for the Doomslayer. I am so ready for Doom Eternal, and I'm so happy that it's going to be coming out on the Switch, too. So that means I'll actually be able to play it, unlike Kingdom Hearts 3, where I can't play it, because for some reason there's no port of Kingdom Hearts 3 on the Switch, even though Square Enix is one of Nintendo's third-party supports. What the fuck? I'm like, 10 years later, I still can't play Kingdom Hearts 3. The answer is none of the above. As shit as Sword Art Online is and Fairy Tail, Naruto is just an obnoxious, overrated battle shonen. It's harmless in the grand scheme of things. And as bad as Fairy Tail and Sword Art Online are, they are not even comparable to anime like Mars of Destruction, Pupa, Boku no Pico, and an anime that is so terrible, I refuse to even speak its name, and I'm not going to speak its name here, because I don't want anyone to ever try to track that anime down. It needs to be forgotten. So yes, contrary to popular belief, as much as I hate Sword Art Online, and I truly do hate it, I don't think it's the worst anime ever made. Top 10, sure, but I don't even know if Sword Art Online could even crack the top 10. I'm not the top 10, I don't even know if Sword Art Online, in a top 10 list, could crack the top 5, if I'm being perfectly honest. And don't get me wrong, Sword Art Online is fucking garbage. But the worst anime of all time is, unfortunately, I can't tell you its name, but it's pretty bad. But an example, but I'll give you a little taste of just how bad this anime is. There is a 12-year-old girl in this anime. She is a sadist who goes around kidnapping and luring older girls into secluded areas. She kidnaps them, torments them, and turns them into her personal sex slaves. She then rapes and tortures them to the point where they become masochists, and then uses and abuses them for her personal pleasure. And she's supposed to be one of the good guys. She's not one of the villains. Well, she is a villain for like a few episodes, and then she joins the good guys, and it's never fucking explained why. I guess it depends on what your standards are for the worst anime of all time. Because what I see as the worst, others may not see as that bad. Even the anime I'm thinking of, some people try to defend it by saying, you only think it's bad because it has a lot of disturbing stuff in it and bad characters. However, there are some elements of it that are good, such as these decent action sequences and animation. And it does admittedly have an opening that's so good that in my top 10 best anime openings, I actually had to admit that it does have a very good opening. Yep, she was. But again, I cannot stress this enough. Don't go trying to hunt her fucking anime down. If you know what's good for you, don't try to track it down. You will regret it. It's an anime that's so bad, it's worse than a fever dream. You will question your sanity if you actually try to watch it. There's always memes about Boku no Pico getting a live action. I don't think that'll ever happen, though, in all honesty. And if it did happen, they're not gonna get an actual Shota to play Pico. They're just gonna look for some Japanese twink femboy that looks young enough to realistically look like Pico, but that's it. And now you know why I fucking hate Animation Rewind and why I don't like making reviews of them. Everything, like, again, no matter how bad I say Death Battle is, always remember that Death Battle will never be able to top Animation Rewind. Animation Rewind is irredeemably awful. Like, I will always choose, like, if I had a choice to review Death Battle for the rest of my life, or Animation Rewind, I'll gladly take those idiots over Animation Rewind. That is highly fucking debatable. Have not seen Kill la Kill. Well, there are a couple I would like to see. However, I have to think hard about my matchups to make sure they're not bad matchups, because I remember I used to want to see Guts versus Heracles from Fate, and then everyone kept saying, why you're trying to spite Guts. Now, this was before I became a full-fledged Fate fan, and I didn't quite have a full understanding of Heracles' power. And then I realized, oh shit, yeah, keep Guts as far away from Heracles as possible. Heracles would fuck up Guts beyond repair. Now I'm thinking of just doing Guts versus Lancelot, but my partner who I'm writing my novel with actually thought I was joking and trolling when I said Guts versus Lancelot, because he said Lancelot would absolutely decimate Guts. See, this is why you gotta look into your matchups to make sure they're compatible, because just because on the surface, like for example, Guts versus Lancelot on paper sounds like the perfect matchup, but due to the fact that Lancelot is so fucking powerful, they wouldn't be able to fight each other. These are factors that people often overlook. Even Death Battle does this, even Animation Rewind does this and doesn't even give a shit. Cool, now I finally have a real sword to use. Yep. If I could ever get into the Death Battle headquarters, I would have their act cleaned up real fucking quickly. Seriously, Death Battle seriously needs some help. Like, I'll admit, I'm not the greatest versus debater to ever walk the earth. There's been times where I've made mistakes. For example, when I lowballed Ulquiorra by saying that he's only small country level, when Ulquiorra is far more powerful than that. Ulquiorra can destroy an area as large as California and Texas 1,000 times over. So yeah, I've been sharpening my my power scaling skills over the years. Because yeah, I used to lowball the shit out of Ulquiorra and I now feel guilty about it. However, I didn't do it intentionally, I more so did so out of ignorance. So yeah, anyone who tells you that Ulquiorra is fodder, Ulquiorra is extremely powerful. Ulquiorra is 38 times the speed of light, and can destroy an area as large as Las Noches thousands of times over. Even his Cerro Oscuras, just simply using that, increases his destructive power by an order of magnitude. In simple terms, that translates to Ulquiorra simply using his Black Cerro increases his power by as much as 10. So not only is transforming a times 10 multiplier, not only is using his second transformation another times 10 multiplier, but simply using his Black Cerro is a times 10 multiplier. Ulquiorra is extremely fucking powerful. Also, it's important to understand that Ulquiorra can destroy an area as large as Las Noches by simply transforming. So by simply transforming, he's casually small country level. I remember when Seth the Programmer and Clyde did the Espada versus the Akatsuki. I remember they said that Ulquiorra would just speed blitz everybody. Not even Itachi would be able to do anything to Ulquiorra, because Ulquiorra would just speed blitz Itachi before he could use any of his genjutsu. Ulquiorra would just speed blitz him. So yeah, even Seth the Programmer says that Ulquiorra would absolutely fuck up the Akatsuki, including their precious Itachi. Would get fucked up by Ulquiorra. So yeah, there's also the possibility that Ulquiorra is debatably planet level. Debatably. Because Ulquiorra was able to counter Hollow Ichigo Seiro, which if you remember in my video about Naruto versus Ichigo, it was explained in that video that Hollow Ichigo is so powerful, he can destroy hell casually, along with the world of the living, with just his Seiro Blast. And Ulquiorra was able to counter this. Now, the only caveat to this is the Hollow Ichigo that Ulquiorra fought was not at full power. He had about half of his Shihakusho at best. So, it's debatable, but there's speculation that Ulquiorra could possibly be close to planet level. Because Hollow Ichigo is planet to multi-planet level. Just Hollow Ichigo. So that's something to keep in mind. Would have Ulquiorra straight up killed Ichigo. It was stated by Hollow Ichigo that if Ichigo ever died, he would take over. And that's exactly what happened. Ichigo died, and then Hollow Ichigo took over. No, what Death Battle needs to do is get some versus debaters in there that actually know what the fuck they're talking about. Like, I know Seth is a bit of a punchline in the versus community, but even Seth can do a better job at the Death Battle headquarters than most of the schmucks they have working for them. Like, Death Battle needs someone like Seth or Clyde working in their research department. And thank God Seth and Clyde are going to be remaking Naruto vs. Ichigo and actually doing it properly. Hell, even Realm of Splash casually bitch slaps Death Battle. Right, Death Battle has shown on multiple occasions they have no clue what the fuck they're talking about half the time. Yes, I know all about Birds of Prey. I've been talking about it a little bit on my Twitter, and like, what do you want me to say that hasn't already been said? It's Ghostbusters 2016 all over again. Like, someone needs to get Roz and have him start working at Hollywood, because clearly these motherfuckers don't know the definition of insanity. I honestly think Vaz could run Hollywood better than the idiots they have right now. Yeah, in all honesty, Seth and Clyde really should be employed by Death Battle. Even if they only have Seth and Clyde, or one of them as an intern, even just simply having one of them as an intern would probably drastically improve Death Battle's quality. Because rather you like Seth or Clyde or not, like, I'll admit I'm not the biggest fan of Seth's personality. At least Seth knows what the fuck he's talking about. But I can't say the same for Death Battle. Death Battle only sometimes knows what they're talking about. In all honesty, I don't think that's the honest reason why Death Battle did Miles versus Static. As funny as that would be, as stupid as Death Battle is, I don't even think even Death Battle is that stupid. Oh yeah, one thing I love how Seth, who is an infamous Naruto tard, he ended the debate between Aizen versus Madara, and there are still fucking Naruto fans out there trying to say that Madara would defeat Aizen. Bitch, Seth and fucking Clyde already debunked this shit. Okay, Aizen defeats Madara. The only way Madara could defeat Aizen is if he was bloodlusted. And even then, that's highly debatable because that requires Madara to go against his personality. One thing I like about Seth is how in a versus battle, he takes a character's personality into account. Because there are some people that say that, oh, you should ignore a character's personality in a versus debate if it means that they'll win. No, that means that if you're intentionally ignoring a character's personality and how they would behave, then that shows me that you know that their personality would actually lead to their ultimate demise. And there are actually idiots out there that do that. Like, there are some versus communities on Facebook where they'll say, oh, well, we know that Madara loses to Aizen, that's why we only want to have a specifically bloodlusted Madara fight Aizen. Even then, I don't even think a bloodlusted Madara would cut it, because as soon as Madara looks at Aizen, it's game over. It doesn't fucking matter. As soon as he looks at Aizen, the fight is over. It wouldn't even really be a fight. Like, I can promise you, if Aizen fought Madara, he wouldn't even need to get out of his chair. He wouldn't even waste the fucking effort of getting out of his chair. Yeah. Yoda would fucking obliterate Splinter in an instant. Yoda is as powerful as Darth Sidious, okay? Splinter would get fucking annihilated. Like, here's how I'll explain it. So, Yoda is about equal to Darth Sidious's power. However, though, Mace Windu is actually more powerful than Yoda, and I have plans to make a video on this. But believe it or not, Mace Windu is actually more powerful than Yoda. The reason for this being is because Mace Windu achieved what Anakin was supposed to do. He basically became the balance of the light and the dark. Mace Windu actually was one Jedi that did not fear the dark side. Kind of like what Anakin told Obi-Wan. He did not fear the dark side as Obi-Wan did, neither did Mace Windu. Mace Windu understood that the only way to understand the Force is to understand all of its aspects. And he understood that the dark side would have to be implemented in order to truly understand the Force and achieve true balance. So Mace Windu actually used unorthodox dark side powers, including creating his own lightsaber form known as the Pod, which essentially gives him ever-growing power. How it works is, if you are a dark side user and you fight Mace Windu, once he taps into the Pod, it allows him to essentially absorb the dark side energy and hatred being used on him, and he can channel the energy through his body and reflect it back onto the user. So the more powerful the dark side user, the stronger Mace Windu becomes. So even if you are more powerful than Mace Windu, if you are using the dark side, it doesn't fucking matter. Once Mace Windu taps into the Pod, he is as powerful as he needs to be. But even more so than that, Mace Windu also has an ability known as Shatterpoint, which allows him to see the entire world around him like a mirror and look for cracks in the mirror to identify very specific weaknesses. This is how he was able to defeat Palpatine. Contrary to popular belief, Palpatine did not throw the fight against Mace Windu. Mace Windu actually defeated him. He tapped into the Pod and kept using Sidious's own dark side energy against him, and then he used Shatterpoint to find a weakness in Palpatine's defense, which led to him disarming him with that kick. So yes, Mace Windu is one of the most powerful Jedi of all time. He is the most powerful Jedi of his era. He is more powerful than even Yoda. Yoda was borderline equal to Palpatine, but Mace Windu was stronger. There's not many people that are worthy to be in the presence of Aizen. To be honest, I don't know who you would have Aizen fight. Mace Windu versus Voldemort is a stupid idea. Voldemort requires a lot of stupid conditions to be defeated. Voldemort is not a good opponent for Death Battle because the only way to kill Voldemort is you must destroy all of his Horcruxes. If you don't destroy every single Horcrux, Voldemort can go back because Voldemort took his soul and divided it into a bunch of Horcruxes. So unless you can destroy all of them, some of them requires specific forms of magic to even destroy, then you can't kill Voldemort. He'll just come back. And before someone says that's a no-limits fallacy and he could lose to existence erasure, unless you can erase all of his Horcruxes from existence, sorry, that's not going to happen. So before someone comes at me saying no limits fallacy or existence erasure, it's not a no limits fallacy because as long as even one Horcrux exists, Voldemort can come back. No, he shouldn't have. Death Battle is stupid, but I highly doubt they're going to do Obi-Wan versus Kakashi. Obi-Wan is the strongest character of all time. He has the fucking high ground, bitch. And you respect his fucking high ground. You think Kakashi has a shot in hell against the fucking high ground? Bitch, please. But interestingly enough, in all seriousness, Obi-Wan is actually stronger than Darth Vader. George Lucas said that Obi-Wan was more powerful than Darth Vader in A New Hope. So yes, Obi-Wan is one of the most powerful Jedi of all time, and he was more powerful than Darth Vader. Darth Vader only killed Obi-Wan because Obi-Wan allowed him to win. Darth Vader was even scared shitless of a rematch with Obi-Wan. There are comics and novels that go into Darth Vader's perspective that he was terrified of the prospect of fighting Obi-Wan again. Because Darth Vader understood what Obi-Wan did to Anakin. And that was when Darth Vader was at his strongest. Darth Vader was actually weaker when he became Darth Vader truly. So yes, Darth Vader was terrified of the prospect of fighting Obi-Wan again, because he knew there was the chance that Obi-Wan could defeat him again. And even after Darth Vader defeated Obi-Wan, Darth Vader was scared shitless, because he didn't understand what happened. He didn't understand why Obi-Wan wasn't dead, why he just faded into the Force. At first he thought it was some kind of Force trick, and Darth Vader understood that there were powers that the Force had that even Darth Vader didn't understand. So yes, do not fuck with Obi-Wan. He is very fucking powerful. Obi-Wan flat out told Darth Vader can't beat him. Even if Darth Vader somehow defeated him, he would become more powerful than Darth Vader could possibly imagine. Which he did. When you become a Force ghost, you essentially become one with the Force. Only the most powerful Jedi can achieve this. Also, Obi-Wan was the master of Sorsu, the all-defensive form. And Obi-Wan in his prime, it was stated, was so skilled with Sorsu that his defense was unbreakable. This is why they sent Obi-Wan to defeat General Grievous. Because they said that Obi-Wan was one of the only ones that could defeat General Grievous in lightsaber combat. Even Mace Windu was actually afraid of the idea of facing General Grievous in lightsaber combat. Mace Windu only ever used the Force against General Grievous. He never wanted to fight General Grievous in a lightsaber fight. So yes, Obi-Wan is a very powerful Jedi. Whoever just said Riku versus Zant. I'm trying to be really nice, but that is an extremely fucking stupid idea. The king... Do I have to explain how powerful the Kingdom Hearts universe is? Riku easily scales to Sora. Sora is so powerful, even Link would have a hard time trying to defeat him. And I made it no secret in the 12 Days of Death that Link is very powerful. One of the most powerful Nintendo characters to walk the earth. But even Link would have a difficult time defeating Sora. Now Link would still be able to defeat Sora, but it wouldn't be easy. Link would need to break out the Fierce Deity's mask or put on the magic armor. Oh, General Grievous was my favorite Star Wars villain. Don't worry, Kevin, I'll get to your comment in a minute. But General Grievous is actually my favorite Star Wars villain of all time. I actually like General Grievous better than even Darth Vader. The only villain I like slightly more than General Grievous, but even then it's debatable if he's even a villain, is Darth Revan. But if you don't want to count Darth Revan because it's debatable if he's a villain, then General Grievous was my favorite villain. General Grievous is a very underrated villain. General Grievous was a fucking badass, okay? Motherfucker took on 6 Jedi at once, and 3 of them were Jedi Masters. One of them was Sheik, the 3rd most powerful Jedi of her era. Even Anakin said that Sheik, when he raided the Jedi Temple, he wanted to know where Sheik was because she was the only Jedi Master that posed any threat to him. And General Grievous defeated Sheik with the help of Ayla Secura and Ki-Adi-Mundi, who were members of the Jedi Council. General Grievous is incredibly powerful. Not only that, but General Grievous was also able to mimic Vaapad. This is why Mace Windu was terrified of ever having to face General Grievous in lightsaber combat. Because General Grievous was able to mimic and copy Vaapad. Now, he wasn't able to achieve Vaapad fully because Mace Windu stopped him before he could achieve this, but Mace Windu stated, if given enough time in a lightsaber battle, General Grievous could possibly achieve Vaapad. And I don't think I need to explain why General Grievous adding Vaapad to his lightsaber arsenal would be a bad fucking idea. If General Grievous was able to achieve Vaapad, he would be more powerful than fucking Palpatine. General Grievous would be able to overthrow Palpatine if he was able to achieve Vaapad. Don't ever sleep on General Grievous. General Grievous is extremely powerful. And yes, fucking Kakashi does not scale to Naruto, okay? Naruto had to give the entire Shinobi Alliance 3 times the chakra when they were going up against Kaguya. The entire Shinobi Alliance. Don't give me this fucking... If you think that Kakashi scales to Naruto, you are a fucking wanker. Kakashi ain't shit compared to Naruto. I don't even like Naruto. Naruto would fucking beat Kakashi senseless without Sage Mode. He would beat the fucking shit out of Kakashi. Kakashi does not scale to Naruto, and if you think that Kakashi scales to Naruto, go learn some fucking power scaling. Naruto scales to some of the most powerful Bleach characters. Naruto is so powerful, he can defeat all of the Espada by himself. Yes, even my boy Ulquiorra can't defeat Naruto. General Grievous would absolutely annihilate Darth Vader in combat. Unless Darth Vader used the Force against him, he would get fucked up. The Force is the only way people have been able to defeat General Grievous. Shaggy, okay, I fucked up. Shaggy is actually the most powerful character of all time, because I saw a video, Shaggy now has access to the high ground. So yeah, Shaggy is more powerful than anyone. The only one who could possibly stand up to him is maybe Obi-Wan. But he would need the high ground to achieve this. Yes, it is kind of funny, but Ichigo does defeat the Akatsuki. He doesn't only defeat the Akatsuki, he fucking bitch slaps the Akatsuki. Even Seth said that whether or not you agree that Espada arc, Ichigo could defeat the Akatsuki, you at least all need to admit that War Arc Ichigo completely bitch slaps the Akatsuki. But yes, Naruto does defeat the Espada, and Ichigo does defeat the Akatsuki. Death Battle should retire Marvel vs. DC. It's getting old. Yep, as am I. Yes, I know exactly who LaDouche is. Me and my best friend have actually been discussing the versus battle of Lelouch versus Light. I think Light would defeat Lelouch, but my friend who has actually watched Code Geass, I've only seen a few episodes of it, has been arguing for the side of Lelouch, seeing if Lelouch could defeat Light. I personally think Light would absolutely slap Lelouch. Yeah, that was the Jedi that fought against General Grievous on the Battle of Hypori and got completely obliterated. I remember I saw this meme that was hilarious. The reason why they failed to defeat Palpatine in the sequel saga is because they made the terrible mistake of not having Shaggy with them. That's pretty funny. Yes, I'm aware of the power of the Geass. The problem is, first off, this is a battle of wit. And in a battle of wit, not only would Lelouch have to figure out that Light is Kira, but get himself in a position where he can even use the Geass on Kira. And once Light, if Light figures out how the Geass works, Light is not going to go anywhere near Lelouch. He's gonna send Misa or Mikami after him. Light is extremely intelligent, okay? Let me put it to you this way. Light did not lose to Nier. Nier cheated. Light defeated Nier. Light defeated Mello, and ultimately, Light defeated L. Light did not lose. He only technically lost because Nier cheated. Yes, the only thing that would be a problem for Light is Lelouch. The only problem that would be fucking tongue-tied. That's the only problem Light would have with Lelouch is his Zero persona. But I assure you, once Light figures out that Lelouch is Zero, game fucking over. Light would most likely send Misa or Mikami to Lelouch's school and see if they can get any records on Lelouch, which probably wouldn't be very difficult. All Light would have to do is just find out who Zero is, and it would be over. But even then, he probably wouldn't even have to go through that effort. All he would have to do is just send Mikami or Misa somewhere where Lelouch is hanging out, get their name, and write his name down. Because they both have the Shinigami eyes. I don't have a favorite Star Wars bounty hunter. I don't really give a shit about the bounty hunters. I've never really found the bounty hunter characters all that interesting. I always prefer the Jedi. I always prefer the more Force-sensitive characters. Well, I might actually do that. I might make a video called What If Nier Died in the End and explore that possibility. Because Nier should have lost. Mello even admitted, both Mello and Nier admitted, that alone they could not defeat Light by themselves. So basically they both admitted that alone they were inferior to Light. But even with their combined effort, they still lost to Light. Because had Nier not cheated, Nier's plan would have failed. I'm not going to try to change your mind because the Star Wars prequels are not as bad as people make them out to be. And now that they've gotten a taste of what a bad movie is actually like, now prequel haters are starting to shut their goddamn mouths because they're starting to realize that they took George Lucas and the prequels for granted. And also, the prequels have the greatest lightsaber duels in the entire series. Even the sequel trilogy. The lightsaber duels in the prequels, I don't care what anyone says, the lightsaber duels in the prequels are superior to any of the lightsaber duels in the sequels. Don't get me wrong, the lightsaber duels in the sequels are good, minus Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader. Thank God someone reimagined that fight, because that fight was fucking terrible. But the prequels were perfectly balanced in the sense that not only were they very well choreographed, but they also had emotion. It was the best of both worlds. You had the emotional weight of the lightsaber duel, as well as the flashy, well choreographed, amazing sword techniques that were being used. Okay, if you've ever seen the YouTuber Shadiversity, look him up. He did a fight autopsy of Obi-Wan versus Anakin, and he praised that for being the greatest, possibly the best lightsaber duel he had seen in the entire series. From the very beginning, he was praising how well choreographed it was, how accurate it was. He did say the fight wasn't flawless. There were some elements he said were egregious, but overall, the fight was brilliant. If you say that Anakin versus Obi-Wan is a bad lightsaber fight and it's nothing more than a dance, shut your fucking mouth because you don't have any fucking clue what you're talking about. Okay? Even like Dishonored Wolf, I love you, man, but when you said that the fights in the prequels were just a gay dance, I'm sorry, dude, but you're just wrong. The lightsaber duels in the prequels were fucking incredible. And Obi-Wan versus Anakin is the greatest lightsaber duel and one of the greatest fights in film history. Don't even try to change my mind, because you are just fucking wrong. And there are people out there that can objectively prove it, like Shadiversity, who is an actual sword enthusiast. He actually studies sword combat. He actually knows what he's talking about with swords in general. And if you praise any of the lightsaber fights in the sequels, go fuck yourself. They're fucking terrible. Okay? All of them. Kylo versus Rey, Kylo and Rey versus the fucking Praetorian Guards, they're all fucking trash. And don't get me started on fucking Kylo versus Luke Skywalker. That lightsaber duel was so bad, it made Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader look like a fucking masterpiece. And I previously held that to be the worst lightsaber duel of all time. As much as I love going on my little rants because people find them entertaining, I will admit sometimes it can be a little bit exhausting because I'm actually a little bit out of breath from just that little rant about people who think the lightsaber duels in the prequels are shit. I'm actually a little bit out of breath. This is why I only like to save my rants for special occasions, because they can actually sometimes take a little bit out of me. The sequels are barely even that. There's barely anything positive about the fucking sequels. And oh my god, the way they killed Palpatine is fucking retarded. Like, if that's all it took to defeat Palpatine, why didn't Palpatine die when Mace Windu fought him? Mace Windu did the same fucking thing. I fucking hate you, J.J. Abrams. And guess what? Mace Windu is more powerful than Rey. I don't care what any of you fucking Reylos say, or any of you fuckwits working for Kathleen Kennedy. Mace Windu would absolutely annihilate Rey. Mace Windu is a real Jedi and would fucking school her ass. What is my favorite sword? That's very difficult because there are actually a lot of swords that I like. Everything from the simple broad and long sword to the kopis, which was the sword that Alexander the Great used, who is one of my favorite historical figures of all time. There's so many really great swords out there. I don't know if I could pick just one, because I like almost every sword. It's very difficult for me to think of just one. The gladius that the Romans used is a really fucking cool sword. Hell, even the Spartan short sword is pretty fucking cool. And that thing is basically just a glorified dagger. Yes, contrary to popular belief, those swords that you saw in the 300 movie, those were not actually the swords that the Spartans used. I don't know where they got that from. The Spartans, they used short swords. They did not wield whatever those swords were in 300. Don't get me wrong, I love 300, it's an awesome movie, but I don't know where they got those fucking swords from, because the Spartans did not use those things. Kylo Ren can barely defeat Rey. Kylo Ren can't even defeat Darth Sidious. Darth Sidious just bitch slapped Kylo Ren down a fucking shaft. Kylo Ren ain't shit. Darth Vader would fucking destroy Kylo Ren. By the way, let me know in the live chat and comments, guys, if you enjoy this video game I'm playing. If so, I'll stream this game a lot more often. I mean, if we also count fictional swords, it would still be hard for me to pick my favorite, because there's Lancelot's sword, which I always forget what it's called. I wish my friend Samaka was here so he could remind me what the fuck the name of Lancelot's sword is, because I always forget it. There's the Dragon Slayer, which is one of the coolest things ever created. There's the Master Sword, which is, of course, iconic. The Master Sword is one of the most iconic swords ever made. Hell, even the Keyblade is fucking awesome. I actually own a Keyblade, believe it or not. When I went to Crunchyroll Expo, I actually got a Keyblade while I was there. The only thing that sucks is it's not my favorite Keyblade. Now, I can actually tell you my favorite Keyblade. My favorite Keyblade is the Star Seeker. It's the Keyblade I always use in Kingdom Hearts 2, and I never unequipped it. When I was playing Kingdom Hearts 2 back on my PlayStation 2, I never unequipped the Star Seeker. I used it through my entire playthrough. The only other Keyblades I used was I would change the Keyblades whenever I used a Valor form, but the Star Seeker was always my main Keyblade I used. Which is why it pissed me off in later Kingdom Hearts games when they gave the Star Seeker to Mickey Mouse for no reason. I'm like, why the fuck did you give my favorite Keyblade to Mickey Mouse? I want to use that thing, you fucking assholes. Give me the fucking Star Seeker back. Yes, I did. I grew up watching PBS. This was before my family had cable and we had to use antenna television. It was either PBS or Kids WB, so I just had to take it up the ass back then. Oblivion is a cool Keyblade as well. It's just not my personal favorite. There's a lot of great Keyblades out there, don't get me wrong. There's only a couple of Keyblades I can say I don't like. For example, I don't like the Keyblade that Roxas wields, the Oathkeeper. I think it's kind of stupid. I don't like that Keyblade. I also don't like the Keyblade you get from Popeye's World. Again, I think it's stupid. I also don't like that flower Keyblade either. However, the Oblivion is pretty cool, and I think Oblivion suits Roxas very well. Interesting. Yeah, the Lancelot sword is actually pretty cool. I love what they did with Lancelot's sword. Like, I thought Excalibur was a little bit generic and cliche in the way that they designed it. I mean, I don't hate the way they designed Excalibur and Faith, I just didn't think it looked all that interesting. But I loved what they did with Lancelot's sword. I thought it was a cool looking sword, and it really fit Lancelot. And that sword is pretty powerful too. Lancelot simply unsheathing that sword amps his power. Just simply unsheathing it. Yes, it absolutely is. Anakin versus Obi-Wan is absolutely on par with a fight scene from John Wick. Like I said, it's one of the greatest fight scenes of all time, period. One day I want to make a video called the best fight scenes in film history, along with the best fight scenes in anime history. And you best believe Obi-Wan versus Anakin will be really high up on that list. Now, it's not going to be the greatest. It probably wouldn't be the greatest fight scene of all time because as good as Anakin versus Obi-Wan is, there are some problems with it. There are some parts of the fight that don't work. But overall, it's an incredible fight scene. And again, like I said, please check out Shadiversity and watch his dissection so you can understand what works about that fight. Like I said, Shad is a sword enthusiast, he actually is a trained sword fighter, and he knows his stuff. He also absolutely rips the fight sequence from The Last Jedi against the Praetorian Guards. He rips that fight sequence a new fucking asshole. He also referred to the fight sequence between Kylo Ren and Rey in The Rise of Skywalker. He referred to it as the Battle of the Baseball Bats. Because for some reason, that idiot J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson, they think that lightsabers are fucking baseball bats. They don't understand how the fuck swords work. Like, George Lucas actually studied forms of sword fighting. When he created the 7 forms of lightsaber combat, when he created the prequel era, he actually studied actual sword techniques that were utilized to create the 7 forms of lightsaber combat. So that's why the lightsaber duels in the prequels are so good, because George Lucas actually based them on real forms of lightsaber combat. I mean, not lightsaber combat, on real forms of sword fighting. The sequels, they try to be more realistic and fail miserably. But the fights in John Wick are possibly the greatest fight scenes in film history. Or I can't think of a single fight scene in John Wick that's bad. They're all just incredible to see. When I saw John Wick 3 in theaters, it was one of the greatest film experiences I ever had in my life. After dealing with Star Wars Episode 8 and fucking Endgame, John Wick 3 was so refreshing. John Wick 3 is a must-watch film, and I cannot wait for John Wick 4. Like, I've teased that if my channel ever blows up, and if you ever check on my Patreon, there's an actual tier that if enough people donate to that specific tier, I would actually make a short film. You best believe if I ever made a short film, I would do my hardest to try to mimic the amazing choreographed fight sequences from John Wick. Now, I don't know if I would be able to pull it off, but I would try my hardest to have my action sequences be anything like those fight sequences. Like, for example, one thing I want to do, I don't know if I ever get to do it, but if I got to, I want to make a short film based on Kimimorra, and if I ever got to do that, like if I ever got the funding to do it, you best believe I would try to make Kimimorra go full John Wick and incorporate some actual legitimate martial arts and try to copy some John Wick type stuff. But instead of like John Wick with guns, it would be basically John Wick with swords because Kimimorra, his Kekkei Genkai is so awesome and he's such a well-skilled martial artist that there's a lot you could do. There's a lot of fun fight sequences I could see myself making. Like, I wouldn't want to say too much, but I actually have a script written for this short film just in case I ever get to make it. And let's just say there would be a fight sequence where Kimimorra goes into the Mist Village and just starts annihilating members of the Mist Village, just going full John Wick and slaughtering them. Oh yes, I'll admit I'm not the biggest fan of the fight sequences in Daredevil. It's not that I think they're bad, they're just not really my thing. I'm just not the biggest fan of the one-take fight scenes because that's what they tried to do with the throne room scene in The Last Jedi. They tried to make it look like it was a one-take fight and failed miserably because Rian Johnson is a hack. I just don't really like the one-take fight sequences. I think there's sometimes, like, I don't know how to describe it, but there's just something about them I don't always like. Again, I'm not saying they're bad. They can be very good. It's just something about them doesn't always do it for me. I guess maybe it just depends. I don't know if John Wick should face Agent 47 because I think John Wick might fuck up Agent 47. I don't know. I could see a reasoning for thinking Agent 47 would be a good matchup for John. That might be a good matchup, but I'm not certain because John Wick, for a human being, he's pretty OP. In John Wick 3, spoilers if for some reason you haven't seen John Wick 3, which if you haven't seen John Wick 3, what the fuck are you doing with your life? John Wick 3 survived a fall off of a building. You remember the Continental Hotel? Yeah, John Wick fell off that building and fucking survived. Not only that, but he hit a fire escape on the way down. John Wick is fucking OP. He's like Guts. He's a very overpowered human being. Truth be told, I don't know who you would have John Wick fight. Max Payne, again, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if these are bad matchups. It's just that I don't know how they would stack up compared to John. I mean, maybe Max Payne could do a decent job against him, but I don't know. Also, I'll admit, I don't know a whole lot about Max Payne, so I wouldn't even have any idea of how skilled Max Payne is. At least with Agent 47, I'm somewhat familiar with what 47 is capable of. Well, that's the thing. Doomslayer is so powerful. Who knows? I do remember though that one of my friends slash subscribers, who is a versus debater, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. He's a god awful versus debater. He once suggested that Guts should fight Doomslayer, and I said that's a dumb idea. Doomslayer would absolutely annihilate Guts. Even if Guts put on the Berserker armor, he would be fucked. Well, the whole bullet time thing, I think that's only a gameplay thing, and I don't believe that's an actual in-context power that he has. It's just more of a gameplay gimmick. Unless I'm wrong, there's always a chance I'm wrong. I was never the biggest Max Payne fan. I played the first Max Payne because my brother had it. I liked it, but that's about it. I never played any other Max Payne game after that. Yeah, true. One thing that's interesting to note is, funny enough, John Wick and Leon S. Kennedy are actually skilled in the exact same hand-to-hand combat. The martial arts that John Wick uses is known as Sistema. It's the same martial arts that Leon S. Kennedy uses. There's even a sequence in Resident Evil Vendetta where Leon Kennedy actually goes full John Wick on a hallway full of zombies, and it's fucking awesome. Look it up. I know. I was just saying that they both use the same martial art. Did I like cut out or something? Because I was specifically stating that, interestingly enough, that Leon F. Kennedy and John Wick, they know the same exact martial arts, Sistema. favorite trap other than Astolfo, probably Aoi. Or Aoi, Aoi, however the fuck you pronounce his name. I say him because as much as I love Astolfo, I find Aoi very relatable as a trap because he is the perfect representation of the plight of how hard it can be to be a trap. Some people think that being a trap is easy, but it's really not. And he really highlights the struggles that traps can go through, because the way it works with Aoi, he explains that he always got bullied in school because he liked cute things and girly things, and they bullied him for this. So he became the most famous, beautiful idol in the entire internet just to spite his bullies. He said that if they were going to bully him, he would become the cutest, most beautiful woman they had ever seen. And I can understand that struggle of being someone like Aoi, liking cute things, being a guy and liking girly things, and being bullied for it. My brother did that to me all the time. He would always bully me anytime I did something feminine. Well, I wouldn't really say he would bully me, but he would kind of make fun of me, so I can kind of understand that feeling of, like, being really into feminine girly things and being, like, made fun of for it. Now, my brother didn't really do it out of, like, spite or hate or anything like that. Then, this was before I adopted my trap persona, so every once in a while I would do something that he would find to be feminine, and he would just kind of point that out to me and sometimes make fun of me for it. But yeah, Aoi is a great trap, and I hate that he's very much wasted in Maid-sama because they make him a side character. Great. Thanks, Maid-sama, because I totally want to focus on the fucking tsundere and the Gary stew. Kiss my ass, Maid-sama. But there's a lot of traps that I like, so it would be difficult for me to pick just one. I don't have much of an opinion on Tom Brady. I'm not the biggest football person. I mean, I like the Panthers, but lately the Panthers have been pissing me off. I've been out of football. After what went down with the Panthers at the Super Bowl, I kind of just stopped caring about football, and I only check up on the Panthers every once in a while. My favorite fantasy anime character, again, that's tricky, because there's a lot. But I guess if I had to pick, it would be a tough choice between Guts or Heracles from Fate. By the way, I might end the stream after this boss fight, but it depends. If the stream is still very active after this boss fight, I might keep going. But one thing I want to say before I forget, those who are interested in the Koyakatsu live stream, I'm still going to be doing it, but I'm not going to be doing it on YouTube. I'm going to be doing it on Twitch. So those who want to see the Koyakatsu live streams, make sure to go to Twitch, okay? I tried doing it on BitTubers and it was a disaster. BitTubers is not a good website for live streaming. I learned that the hard way. So anyone here who's wondering about the Koyakatsu live stream, it's still going to happen. Just check out Twitch. I'm still going to be doing it. And it's going to be an actual series. So it's not going to just be a classroom full of traps. I want to do a series of like a bunch of different classrooms. So if there's ever any suggestions of characters or a classroom you would like to see in this series, just let me know. I have plenty of save files on Koyakatsu Party. I can have up to, I think, like at least 30 save files. So don't be shy. I can make almost as many classrooms as I want, and I have quite the collection of characters I've been building up. And if there's a certain character I can't get, even from the community thing, well, I can just create them and then just mob them into the game. Well, what is the context here? Is Kirito using his video game powers, or is it just human Kirito? If it's just human Kirito, well, then he fucking dies. Oh, I gotta love this game. This game is basically Final Fantasy if it was self-aware. Well, they definitely upped the challenge on these bosses from Epic Battle Fantasy IV because this motherfucker's a pain in the ass. Well, if Kirito is using his game powers, then he wins, because remember, Kirito is a goddamn Gary Stu. In video games, he's basically an unbeatable god. And even if you do beat him, well, he can just shoot. Like, Kirito is not a character you can ever take seriously in a versus battle, because Kirito is a fucking Gary Stu. It's like trying to do a versus battle with Rey. It's a fucking Mary Sue. Yes, I do still advocate for the matchup of Alucard versus Wesker, because here's my logic for that. It's not only vampires versus zombies, but I think it's a good callback to Deadliest Warrior. Because even though versus stuff has been a thing for a long time, it's Deadliest Warrior that helped bring versus debating to the mainstream. And it's arguable that Deadliest Warrior is responsible for what we have now. And even Death Battle admitted that Deadliest Warrior was one of their inspirations. So, yes. And I think it should be good to pay a homage to Deadliest Warrior by not only redoing Vampires vs. Zombies, but taking arguably two of the most famous zombies and vampires in history. Alucard, though he may not be the strongest vampire ever, he is arguably the most famous and is often renowned as the king of vampires. And Wesker, who is the king of zombies. I think Wesker versus Alucard would be a fucking awesome matchup. And if Death Battle doesn't want to do it, that's fine, because I'm going to do it. And sorry for all you Alucard fucking wankers out there, but Wesker is more powerful than you think. Wesker is more powerful than you think, and Alucard is not as powerful as you make him out to be. Yes, Alucard is very strong, but he's not as strong as you make him out to be. Motherfucker is city level, okay? At his strongest, he is about large city level. So please stop wanking Wesker. Not Wesker. Stop wanking Alucard. I fucking love Alucard, but stop fucking wanking him. He's not as powerful as you make him out to be. And also stop lowballing Wesker. Wesker is extremely fucking powerful. DC, EU, Superman, fucking Rex, Endgame Thanos. Endgame Thanos doesn't even have the fucking Infinity Gauntlet. DC, EU, Superman still has all the powers of Superman, including his ever-growing power. Superman is still as powerful as he needs to be. Also, there's a channel out there in the Versus community called Key Issues. If you're curious about the power of a lot of comic book characters, especially in the context of the DCEU and the MCU, check out Key Issues. They make a lot of videos. He even did a battle of, okay, what if MCU Thanos fought the DCEU Justice League? And what if the MCU Avengers fought the DCEU Justice League? So check them out. Yes, I probably could do a video on the fall of Nickelodeon. However, another YouTuber I would recommend if you're curious about the fall of Nickelodeon is the mysterious Mr. Enter. He makes a lot of videos on a lot of bad Nickelodeon shows. And right now he's been doing a series called Nickorama, where he just marathon reviews every cartoon that Nickelodeon has ever made. Booyah, bitch. Cartoon Network automatically loses to Nickelodeon because Cartoon Network has Steven Universe. Steven Universe immediately eviscerated any dignity Cartoon Network may have had. And I'm sure I'm probably going to get a lot of Steven Universe fans jumping down my throat. I don't care. Steven Universe is shit. Steven Universe is not a cartoon. It's fucking propaganda. That's what it is. There's even SJWs out there, like fucking Lily Pete. Even that bitch doesn't like Steven Universe and made a 2-hour video explaining why it sucks. And Lily Pete is on par with Pedantic Romantic in how much of an SJW piece of shit she is. Don't come at me with this bullshit that, well, actually, Steven Universe is good. No, it's not. And I feel sorry for all the newer generation of kids that didn't grow up back in the time when Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon were good. All Cartoon Network has is Adventure Time, which I would argue is on a decline, and Amazing World of Gumball. I know there might be some regular show fans that say, well, what about regular show? Regular show is a perfectly fine cartoon. However, at no point is regular show on par with something like Invader Zim or Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Let's be honest here. It's a fine cartoon. I have nothing against regular show. I don't think it's bad. I've seen regular show. I just don't get it. I've watched regular show and I don't get like what people love so much about it. It's an okay cartoon. I just don't see like what it is about regular show that everyone goes ape shit over. Maybe regular show is just not for me. I don't know. Yeah, I warned you not to look up Lily Pete. Here's all you need to know about Lily Pete. Lily Pete is a transgender who believes in beating the shit out of her brother, and she feels entitled to beat the shit out of her brother because she is transgender, and Lily Pete is a fucking brony. That's all you know about Lily Pete. Lily Pete is a piece of fucking shit. I actually plan on making a video about Lily Pete because Lily Pete had the balls to take a shot at libertarians. Oh, you want to take a shot at libertarians, Lily Pete? Okay, I'm coming for your ass, bitch. And I'm not going to be nice to you like I am with Death Battle. If you think I'm vicious towards Death Battle, just wait till I get my hands on Lily Pete. I'm going to rip him to shreds. If misgendering is an act of violence, like Riley Dennis says, well, I'm about to get violent as fuck with Lily Pete. Teen Titans Go is shit and is a disgrace. And Uncle Grandpa is also trash. I know Uncle Grandpa has a cult following. I don't know why, but it does. Also, I'm sure it's not a coincidence that two of the worst cartoons of this generation had a crossover. Uncle Grandpa and Steven Universe. Like, of all the cartoons you could do a crossover with, you choose Uncle Grandpa. Invader Zim is the greatest cartoon ever made. You can try to argue against me, but you're wrong. Invader Zim is the perfect cartoon. And I grew up during the best era you could possibly grow up in for cartoons. I grew up in the early 2000s. I grew up with all the classics. Strider, OG, SpongeBob, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Any classic cartoon you can think of, I grew up with it. Even Tom and Jerry and the original Looney Tunes. I have seen the best cartoons on the planet. That's why I'm disgusted by most of the cartoons that this generation is producing. Most of them are fucking shit. Oh, don't you worry. I have an opponent lined up for Invader Zim, and it's absolutely perfect. Now, I don't know when I'm going to do this, but I'm going to be doing Invader Zim versus Alien Hominoid. And if you don't know who Alien Hominoid is, please get the fuck off my screen. Go play Alien Hominoid. That's the fight I'm going to be doing. Invader Zim versus Alien Hominoid. Oh yes. Alien Hominoid versus Invader Zim is going to be possibly one of the most nostalgic battles ever. People who grew up with Newgrounds and Nickelodeon at its best, oh my god, they are going to be drooling over the idea of these two coming together. Speaking of Invader Zim, I need to remember to finish editing my review of Invader Zim Enter the Floor Piss. I need to get my review of that masterpiece up as soon as possible. It was so refreshing to watch Invader Zim after so many years of fucking garbage that we've been putting up with from Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network. How have you not heard of alien hominoid? How is that possible? How does early anime compare to early cartoons? Not well. Let's just say the West got the sharp end of the stick back in the early 2000s when it came to anime. Like, the West got some good anime back in the day, but not a lot. But anime absolutely decimates cartoons. While the West has produced lots of great cartoons, unfortunately, most cartoons get annihilated by anime. And there's just too many great anime out there. Like, yeah, if you throw Tom and Jerry, Looney Tunes, Invader Zim, Avatar, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, OG SpongeBob at them, they will have a chance to match it, but ultimately anime will still come out on top in the end. Because the West, let's be honest, has produced more garbage cartoons than good cartoons. As you just saw, I got my fucking ass handed to me. Okay, what's next? I wonder how many people have accidentally come across Boku no Pico trying to watch My Hero Academia. I even found a meme about that. I remember I had some Boku no Pico characters in my collection just for shits and giggles, and I almost thought about including them in the Koyakatsu live stream, but then I realized, wait a second, it's one thing to just have 3D models of Pico and Coco for shits and giggles, but it's another thing to actually mod them into a hentai game, and that would probably be a bad idea, even if it was just for the lols. People would probably immediately get the wrong idea of why they're in the game, so I did not have them as a part of the live stream. But it was something I did think about doing just for the lols, but I didn't want to chance it. I've already had people falsely accuse me of being a pedophile for much less, like simply retweeting a picture of a Pokemon character. Oh, come on. No, this is irritating. Lol. Depending on how much longer this stream goes for and how many people are still up that are interested in the Koikatsu live stream, I might do that later tonight after this one. No, I don't think I commented on your Avatar / Naruto comment. You might have to ask it again. I'm trying really hard to be nice, but why do you think Ichigo versus Cloud is a good idea? Do I seriously have to explain the problem with that one? Ichigo would get crushed by Cloud. Sure, Ichigo's multi-planet level and massively faster than light. However, Cloud is at least solar system level. At least. Also, in the Final Fantasy universe, you can one-shot ghosts by throwing a phoenix down at them. Just saying. I don't know who I'd have Ichigo fight. Possibly Saber from the Fate series, but I'm not certain on this. The difference thing is Ichigo is very powerful, yes, but he's very powerful in the sense of destructive capability. Like, outside of his high-speed regeneration, he doesn't have much else outside of just a lot of destructive power. In fact, no Bleach character is a good matchup for a Final Fantasy character. There are characters in Final Fantasy that have access to the Void, one of the most dangerous powers in existence. Bleach don't stand a chance. There are characters in Final Fantasy that are universe level. Well, at least I got a lot of XP. I don't know who either of those two characters are, so I can't even comment on them. Oh, cool. Treasure. Oh dear. Yeah, since the live chat isn't as active as it was before, I might end the stream soon. Not sure where everyone went. Ah! Epic fail. I don't know why they're making so many idol anime, and I already know why they're making a lot of fur bag anime, because there's a lot of fur bags in the West. Someone needs to stop them. They're a danger if they breed. They get together in large numbers. As evident by the fact that my furry ex has 2 lovers, not just 1. They're multiplying. Yes, I know, me, you, but still. Even though she's not a real furry, from her perspective, she sees herself as a furry, and so does her 2 dimwit lovers. Damn, some of these weapons are expensive. Favorite Smash Bros. Stage? Maybe Final Destination, but I also like the Final Fantasy stage. I like how it allows you to use the stage against your opponent. Huh, there's a Buster Sword and a Gun Blade. Lol, too bad I can't take it. Wow. Can't lift a fucking Buster Sword? What a whip. What do you mean, well, this is pretty bad? What's pretty bad? Is there something going on with the stream that I should know about? Well, I'm going to cut it off here, guys, since it seems like the stream has kind of run out of steam. And depending on how many people are up for it, I'll try to do the Koekatsu stream later tonight. I just gotta figure out how to get everything set up on Twitch because I haven't used it before. So, thank you guys for 700 subscribers. I hope you enjoyed this. It means a lot to me. I'm gonna try to get the top 10 worst death battles up as soon as I can. The only, I guess, positive I could say maybe for you guys for the top 10 worst death battles taking so long is I won't be going on my hiatus until I have finished that. So I guess technically any death battles that come out in that time is fair game. However, I'm going to try to work overtime to get this finished so that way I don't have to deal with any of the new season death battles because I don't even want to put up with the new season if I'm going to be honest. But yeah, I'm going to try to get that finished. So, I'll see you guys around next time.